Take a moment to breathe. Inhale slowly, exhale completely. Feel how even a single breath brings you closer to stillness. Now, listen carefully. The chaos you feel around you is not born from the world. It is born from within the mind that has not yet been trained. An undisciplined mind is like a wild horse. It runs in every direction, pulled by fear, pulled by desire, pulled by doubt. But a trained mind, a mind anchored in awareness, moves with purpose. It becomes a quiet force, guiding your every step with clarity and calmness. When you understand this, you stop blaming the world for your confusion. You begin to see that every storm outside is a reflection of an unsettled mind inside. And in that realization begins your true path to freedom. The root of chaos does not live in the world. It lives in our reaction to it. The same wind that bends a tree may only ripple a blade of grass. The same challenge that breaks one person awakens another. So ask yourself, which one will you be? Will you resist life and shatter under its pressure? Or will you bend, adapt, and rise stronger through the storm? Every pain you have felt, every disappointment you have faced has not come to destroy you. It has come to show you what you have not yet mastered within yourself. Pain is a teacher. It reveals your weaknesses so that you may build your strength. You asked for strength. And life answered, not with comfort, but with challenge. Not with ease, but with trials that awaken the power sleeping inside you. So do not curse your pain. Do not run from it. Sit with it. Breathe through it. Listen to what it teaches you about your mind, about your reactions, about your patience, because the one who learns to sit in pain without collapsing has already begun to master himself. The mind as the foundation, all power begins in the mind. If your mind is weak, no amount of strength in the body will sustain you. If your mind is distracted, no amount of talent will make you consistent. If your mind is enslaved by emotion, no amount of opportunity will bring peace. The greatest victory you will ever win is not against others, but against your own impulses, your doubts, your scattered thoughts. To master your life, first master your mind. And to master the mind, you must learn to watch it. Observe your thoughts as you would observe the clouds. They come and they go, they form, they dissolve. They are not you, they are movements passing through your awareness. When anger rises, see it. See it. When fear arises, see it. When pride whispers, I am right, see that too. This seeing, this pure awareness, is the beginning of transformation. Because what you can observe, you no longer become. You become the witness, not the wave. And in that witnessing, the storm begins to settle. Awareness is the doorway. When you live without awareness, life controls you. When you live with awareness, you control your life. Awareness is the sword that cuts through illusion. It reveals what is real, what is necessary, and what is merely noise. In every action, walking, eating, speaking, even breathing, bring your attention back. Notice your movements, your words, your emotions. The smallest act, when done with awareness, becomes a form of meditation. If you walk, walk with your whole being. If you work, give yourself completely to the work. If you rest, rest without guilt or distraction. This is how clarity is born. Not through complexity, but through presence. Take a moment to breathe. Let your breath remind you. The past is gone. The future is not yet here. Only this moment exists. And in this moment, everything you need already lives inside you. Discipline is the path to freedom. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it is a restriction, a punishment, a cage. But in truth, discipline is the gate to freedom. Without discipline, you are a slave to your desires. Without structure, you are a prisoner of distraction. Without focus, your energy leaks through 1,000 unimportant directions. Discipline gathers your energy. It teaches the mind to obey what is higher, not what is easier. When you rise early and train your body, you are not just exercising muscles. You are teaching the mind to rise above comfort. When you meditate despite restlessness, you are teaching the mind to sit in stillness despite chaos. When you choose patience over anger, you are sharpening your inner blade. Each act of discipline is an act of freedom. You free yourself from laziness, from fear, from the pull of the lower self. So be disciplined, not because someone demands it, but because you respect yourself. Because you understand that the scattered life is a reflection of a scattered mind. Pain and the path of growth, you may ask. Why must growth hurt? Why can peace not come without struggle? Why can peace not come without struggle? Because strength cannot exist without resistance. Because wisdom cannot be born without the friction of experience. Because your soul does not awaken through pleasure, but through awareness. The stone becomes smooth only through the rubbing of the river. The blade becomes sharp only through the strike of the whetstone. And you too become refined through the tests that shape you. Every hardship that has come to you was necessary. Every delay, every rejection, every moment of doubt, they were not punishments. They were preparation. Take a moment to breathe. Remember a time you thought you could not endure, and yet you did. That strength you found in the storm was not new. It was always there. The storm only revealed it. So when life challenges you again, bow to it. Say silently, you have come to train me, Mer. Because your pain is not the enemy. It is the mirror that reflects your potential. Silence and stillness. There is a strength that noise cannot give you. It lives in silence. It grows in stillness. When you sit in silence, the noise of the world fades, and the noise within becomes clear. At first, that inner noise may seem overwhelming. Thoughts, emotions, memories, restlessness. But do not escape. Stay watch. Breathe. Because in that stillness, something begins to shift. You start to see that behind the noise, there is space. Vast, peaceful, eternal. That space is your true self. Easy, untouched, unmoved, unshaken. From that stillness comes clarity. From clarity comes purpose. From purpose comes discipline. And from discipline comes freedom. So make silence your companion. Make stillness your teacher. Make patience your practice. In a world that moves fast, the one who can remain still is the one who truly masters time. Humility and ego when you begin to grow. Beware of pride. The ego loves to take ownership of progress. It says, I have mastered this. I am better. I am enlightened. But the moment pride enters, awareness leaves. You stop learning. You stop listening. And the same ego that once fueled your ambition now blinds your vision. True strength is silent. It does not need to prove itself. It does not need to shout, look at me, woosje, look at. It moves like water, calm, adaptable, but powerful enough to shape mountains. So remain humble. Bow to those who teach you, even if they are younger or less experienced. Bow to the lessons that come through mistakes. Bow to life itself, for it is the greatest master. When humility lives in you, you cannot fall, because you no longer stand on the fragile ground of pride. Closing of part 1. Take a moment to breathe. Feel the silence between your breaths. That silence is not empty. It is full of presence. Understand this. Your pain is not a punishment. It is preparation. It is life sculpting you into what you are meant to become. Do not resist it. Do not fear it. Walk through it with awareness, patience, and discipline. Each breath you take with awareness, each act you perform with intention is a step toward mastery. When the mind is trained, life obeys. When awareness deepens, peace follows. When discipline becomes your way of living, freedom becomes your nature. Master yourself, and you will discover that life itself begins to move with your rhythm, not because the world has changed, but because you have. Inhale slowly. Exhale gently. Let the air remind you that life is always moving through you, not against you. Now, understand this truth. The mind is both your greatest ally and your most dangerous enemy. If it remains untrained, it creates chaos. If it is mastered, it creates peace. Part 1 guided you to see that pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Now we must go deeper. We must understand the nature of the mind itself, how it shapes our world, how it limits or liberates us, and how awareness becomes the path to mastery. The nature of the mind is like water. When it is calm, it reflects truth clearly. When it is disturbed, even the most beautiful image becomes distorted. Every day, your thoughts rise like ripples on the surface of this water created by emotion, memory, fear, and desire. And if you are unaware, you begin to believe that those ripples are reality. But they are not. They are temporary. They come and they go. They are not who you are. Who you truly are is the stillness beneath those waves, the consciousness that sees them, the watcher, the awareness. When you live lost in thought, you are like someone trying to find peace in a storm. But when you step back into awareness, the storm loses its power. You realize that you were never the wind, you were the sky in which the wind moved. So ask yourself each day, am I living as the storm or am I living as the sky? Take a moment to breathe, observe your thoughts. Do not fight them, do not chase them, just watch. In this simple act of watching, the mind begins to obey. It starts to understand that it no longer controls you, you control it. Training the mind daily mastery is not built in a single day. It is built in the quiet repetition of daily discipline. You must train the mind as you train the body, not once, not occasionally, but every day. If you train your body once a week, will it become strong? No. If you train your mind only when life is difficult, will it remain calm in chaos? No. Discipline means you show up for your growth every single day. Wake early, sit in silence, even if only for a few minutes. Observe your breath. Feel your body awaken with the morning. Let your thoughts settle like dust after a storm. This is not a ritual of religion. It is a ritual of mastery. It is how you build clarity. It is how you align your energy before the world begins to pull you in every direction. Train the mind in stillness before you move into motion. That is how a warrior of awareness begins his day, not in rush, but in rhythm. When the mind is disciplined in the morning, the day becomes lighter, distraction loses its power, and decisions become clear because awareness is already awake. The power of awareness is not something you switch on only during meditation. It must flow through everything you do, walking, working, speaking, even resting. When you walk, feel the ground beneath your feet. When you eat, taste each bite with gratitude. When you speak, listen to your words before they leave your mouth. When you rest, rest fully, without guilt, without thought. Each of these is a doorway to awareness. You don't need to escape the world to be mindful. You need to bring mindfulness into the world. Because awareness transforms ordinary moments into sacred practice. When you are aware, anger dissolves before it becomes action. When you are aware, impatience turns into observation. When you are aware, confusion gives birth to understanding. It is not the situation that changes. It is your relationship with it. That is true mastery. Take a moment now. Notice your breath. Notice the space between your breaths. Feel that calm silence. That is awareness itself. It was never far away. It was only covered by noise. The discipline of presence is the art of being where you are, fully, completely, without distraction. Most people live in fragments. Their body is here, but their mind is elsewhere. Their eyes are open, but they do not see. Their ears hear, but they do not listen. Such a life is exhausting because energy leaks into thoughts of the past and worries of the future. Presence is the cure. Presence gathers your energy back into this moment, the only place where life actually exists. When you become present, even ordinary tasks become meditative. Sweeping the floor becomes an act of clarity. Drinking water becomes a reminder of gratitude. Listening becomes a form of respect. And when you live in this way, the mind begins to quiet itself naturally. You stop running from moment to moment, chasing what is not yet here. You start to be. Presence is not about doing more. It is about being more conscious of what you are already doing. So practice this. When you walk, just walk. When you sit, just sit, just sit. When you breathe, just breathe, breathe. Everything else will follow in its time. The mirror of awareness, when you look deeply within, you will begin to see that everything in life is a reflection of your inner state. If your mind is restless, the world will appear chaotic. If your heart is heavy, everything will seem difficult. But when your awareness is calm, life reveals its natural harmony. This is why we train the mind not to escape reality, but to see it clearly. Clarity is power. It allows you to respond, not react. It allows you to choose patience over anger, focus over distraction, truth over illusion. And the more you live in awareness, the more you begin to understand something profound. You are not controlled by events, you are shaped by your response to them. You cannot always choose the path, but you can always choose your step. You cannot always choose what happens, but you can always choose how you meet it. That is freedom. That is mastery. Breaking the illusion of control, the mind loves control. It wants to predict, plan, and possess, but true power is not found in controlling life. It is found in aligning with it. When the river flows, the rock that resists it erodes. But the leaf that moves with it travels freely. This does not mean you become passive. It means you act with awareness, not with resistance. You move with life, not against it. Control is rooted in fear. Fear of losing, fear of change, fear of uncertainty. But when awareness deepens, fear dissolves. Because you realize that no matter what changes, the essence of who you are remains untouched. The outer world may shift, but the inner observer remains still. And from that stillness, true strength arises. Take a deep breath. Let go of the need to control what cannot be controlled. Focus instead on what can be. Your discipline, your attitude, your awareness. These are the tools of true mastery. Training in every moment is a chance to train. When you are tired, train your patience. When you are angry, train your calmness. When you are uncertain, train your faith. When you are comfortable, train your awareness. Life gives you endless opportunities to grow, if only you learn to see them. There is no a perfect time for training. There is only this moment. Do not wait for life to slow down before you begin. Because it will not. The mind will always say a later. When things are calm, I will practice. But that a later never arrives. Start now with what you have, where you are. Breathe, focus, discipline yourself gently but firmly. Even one mindful breath, taken with full awareness, is an act of strength. Awareness as inner confidence, real confidence, is not arrogance. It is quiet. It comes from knowing that you have trained your mind to remain steady no matter what comes. Confidence built on appearance or achievement can crumble, but confidence built on awareness cannot be shaken. When you are aware, you know yourself, your limits, your emotions, your strengths, your weaknesses. And when you know yourself, you stop comparing, competing, or pretending. You walk your path with humility and certainty. This is why self-awareness is the foundation of inner peace. It is not about knowing everything. It is about knowing yourself deeply. When you know yourself, you stop fearing what life may bring, because you have already found the calm within. Friend. Closing of part 2, take one more breath. Slow, deep, mindful. Feel it anchor you into this present moment. Understand, the mind you train today becomes the peace you feel tomorrow. The awareness you build today becomes the clarity that guides you tomorrow. And the discipline you practice today becomes the freedom that defines your life. Train the mind daily. Observe it gently but firmly. Let awareness become your constant companion. Because a disciplined mind creates a disciplined life, and a disciplined life creates a peaceful spirit. When your awareness becomes strong, even chaos bows before you, not because you fight it, but because you no longer feed it. Master your mind, and life itself will follow your rhythm. Let the air enter deeply into your lungs, and then let it go with calm intention. Every breath is a reminder. Discipline begins with something as simple as this, awareness of your own rhythm. Now we walk deeper into the heart of practice. Awareness opens the door, but discipline is what keeps you walking through it. Without daily practice, wisdom fades into memory. Without consistency, even the brightest insight grows dull. Discipline is not punishment. It is devotion. It is the commitment to your own evolution. It is the art of showing up, not once, not occasionally, but every day, regardless of how you feel. The foundation of discipline is not born in comfort. It is born in resistance. It is shaped when the body wants to rest, but the spirit whispers, "Arise again." It is strengthened when excuses arise and you choose action instead of delay. Every morning before the noise of the world begins, you have a sacred opportunity. That moment between sleep and motion, that quiet hour, is where self-mastery begins. So, discipline is choosing purpose over pleasure, order over chaos, progress over excuses. It is the daily reminder that what you truly want will only appear when you are willing to do what is necessary, not what is easy. Take a moment now. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? Not what others want for you, not what the world says you should chase, but what you truly seek. Then ask, am I willing to train for it every single day? Because desire without discipline is just wishful thinking. But discipline, even without immediate reward, builds a foundation unshakable by time. The daily ritual, when you wake fully. Do not rush into the noise of your phone, the chaos of plans, the weight of worry. Before you touch the world, touch your breath. Sit for a few minutes in silence. Let your mind settle. Observe your thoughts rise and fall like waves. Do not fight them. Do not follow them. Just breathe. This is not a small act. This is the first victory of the day. The victory of awareness over distraction. Then move your body. Stretch, train, walk. Do something that reminds your body it is alive. The purpose is not to impress anyone. It is to awaken your energy. When the body moves with purpose, the mind becomes sharper. When the mind focuses, emotions become calm. And when calmness deepens, clarity appears naturally. This is discipline in motion, a harmony between mind, body, and awareness. Consistency over intensity. Many people begin with excitement, but fade with time. They burn fast, but not long. True mastery does not come from bursts of effort. It comes from the quiet repetition of small, consistent actions. If you meditate, do it every day, even for 5 minutes. If you train your body, do it every day, even lightly. If you reflect, write, or study, do it every day, even briefly. The power of consistency is invisible in the beginning. You may not see results for weeks or months, but something deeper is changing. Your character, your focus, your resilience. The tree does not grow taller every day, but its roots deepen silently underground. In the same way, your discipline grows unseen until one day it becomes unshakable. So, train not for results, train for truth. Train because the act itself purifies the mind and strengthens the spirit. When motivation fades, there will be days when you feel no energy, no inspiration, no desire to continue. Those days are the true test of discipline. Anyone can act when inspired. But mastery is built by those who act when the fire seems gone. Motivation is a visitor. It comes and goes. Discipline is a companion. It stays as long as you nurture it. When the mind says, I don't feel like it, reply calmly, that is why I must. Or do not argue with the mind. Guide it gently but firmly. Do what must be done, not because you are forced, but because you have chosen this path. The more often you act without waiting for motivation, the more powerful you become. Eventually, action itself creates its own energy. Discipline gives birth to momentum, and momentum gives birth to confidence. So, when you feel low, do not see it as failure. See it as the invitation to practice deeper presence and self-command. Discipline in thought's physical practice is important, but the true battlefield of discipline is the mind. Every thought that arises is either building your strength or weakening. Discipline means choosing which thoughts deserve your attention. When a thought of doubt comes, observe it, but do not believe it. When a thought of fear comes, breathe through it, but do not surrender to it. When a thought of comparison arises, return to gratitude. You cannot stop thoughts from coming, but you can train the mind not to serve them. Thoughts are like seeds. Whatever you water grows. If you water fear, it multiplies. If you water discipline, it becomes your nature. So each day, tend to the garden of your mind with awareness. Remove weeds of negativity. Water seeds of calmness, focus, and faith. This is inner discipline, the mastery of your own thinking. Discipline in emotion, the emotional self is wild. It reacts quickly, loves extremes, and avoids discomfort. Discipline does not mean suppressing emotion. It means transforming it. When anger rises, breathe before you speak. When sadness comes, sit with it rather than escaping it. When joy appears, enjoy it without clinging. Every emotion is a visitor. Your job is not to fight or serve it, but to observe and learn from it. Emotional discipline means you act from awareness, not impulse. It means you do not allow temporary feelings to decide permanent directions. Remember, strength is not measured by how hard you strike, but by how calmly you stand. The storm may roar within, but when your awareness is strong, it cannot move your roots. Take a moment to breathe. Notice the emotion you carry right now. Do not name it. Do not judge it. Just see it. Awareness itself is the beginning of release. Discipline in words and actions. The words you speak are seeds of energy. They carry power. Each one either builds your inner structure or weakens it. Speak less, but with purpose. Speak truthfully, but with kindness. Speak only when your words can add clarity or peace, not noise. The disciplined person is not silent because he is weak. He is silent because he understands that words are sacred. The same applies to your actions. Let your actions be aligned with your purpose. Do not scatter your energy into many directions. A river that splits into many paths loses its power. But a river that stays focused carves through mountains. So simplify your life. Do fewer things, but with greater depth. This is the discipline of alignment. The balance of effort and rest discipline does not mean endless struggle. It means balance. Even the most skilled warrior knows when to train and when to rest. Without rest, effort becomes chaos. Without effort, rest becomes decay. Balance them like day and night. When you train, train completely. When you rest, rest completely. When you work, be all there. When you pause, be all still. The undisciplined mind mixes everything. Working while distracted, resting while anxious, speaking without listening. But the disciplined mind keeps each moment whole. This wholeness creates peace. It is not what you do, but how you do it, with awareness, focus, and balance. Building strength through simplicity. Simplicity is a form of power. Complexity drains energy. Simplicity restores it. A disciplined life is not cluttered with unnecessary choices or distractions. It is guided by clarity and purpose. Wake at the same time. Train your body and mind daily. Eat with awareness. Keep your space clean. Speak truth. Sleep in peace. These simple acts are not small. They are sacred. They anchor your awareness and create a stable foundation. When life is simple, your energy no longer leaks through confusion. You become focused, light, and precise. The world respects those who move with quiet purpose. Be that person. Simple, disciplined, and steady. Closing of part 3, take one more breath. Feel it rise from your belly, expand your chest, and flow out through calm awareness. Understand, discipline is not a cage, it is a bridge. It carries you from who you are to who you are meant to become. Each small act of consistency is a promise you keep to yourself. Each moment of focus is a seed of freedom. In time, you will realize the greatest peace does not come from avoiding struggle, but from avoiding struggle, but from walking through it with discipline and grace. Train your mind. Align your actions with purpose. And in doing so, you will awaken a strength that no storm can take away. Master the rhythm of your life, and life itself will begin to move in harmony with you. Let it travel deep into your body. Feel the stillness that comes after the exhale, the quiet between moments. In that stillness lives a great truth. The more you grow, the more the ego wants to claim the growth. The stronger you become, the more the mind wants to say, I am the source of this strength, and it is here on the path of discipline that a new challenge begins, the challenge of humility and detachment. Mastery is not complete when the body is strong or the mind is sharp. True mastery begins only when the self becomes silent. Understanding ego, the ego is not evil. It is simply loud. It is the voice that says, it must be seen, I must be right, I must be right, I must be more. It feeds on comparison. It survives through attachment, to identity, to praise, to control. Ego is the shadow that follows every step of growth. It whispers, you have achieved, you are better. But that whisper is the beginning of blindness, because the moment you think you have arrived, you stop walking. The moment you believe you are above others, you fall below your own truth. The ego seeks recognition. Awareness seeks understanding. The ego wants to be admired. The soul wants to be free. And so the question becomes, which one are you feeding? The subtle traps of the ego hides not only in pride, but also in false humility. It can say, oh, look how humble I am. It can disguise itself as virtue, as knowledge, even as spirituality. You may meditate deeply and still be attached to the idea of being spiritual. You may help others and still be attached to being seen as good. You may speak of truth, yet secretly wish to be recognized for it. This is why awareness must walk beside every act. Without awareness, ego builds its throne in silence. With awareness, its illusions dissolve. So do not try to destroy the ego. That too becomes an act of ego. Simply see it. Observe its movements. When it seeks attention, smile inwardly. When it demands to be right, breathe and stay silent. Each moment of observation weakens its hold. The ego cannot survive in the light of awareness. The power of detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. It means you learn to act fully, with love and precision, but without needing to control the result. When you plant a seed, you water it, protect it, and give it sunlight. But you do not pull on it to make it grow faster. You trust the process. In the same way, when you work, give your best. When you love, give sincerely. When you serve, serve completely. Then let go of what happens next. The moment you release attachment to outcome, your energy becomes pure. There is no anxiety, no pride, no fear, only peace in knowing that you have acted with full awareness. This is true freedom, to live fully engaged but inwardly untouched. Attachment to results. Why does attachment bring suffering? Because when you tie your peace to results, your peace becomes fragile. If you succeed, you feel inflated. If you fail, you feel broken. Your state of being becomes the prisoner of circumstance. But when you detach from results, your energy stays balanced. You act with strength, but you remain at peace whether life gives you gain or loss. This is the mind of a master, calm in success, calm in failure. Take a breath. Ask yourself, what am I attached to right now? Is it recognition, outcome, or comfort? Observe it. Do not judge it. Awareness itself is the first act of detachment. Detachment in relationships. People often misunderstand detachment in relationships. They think it means distance or coldness. But true detachment is love without possession. It is to care deeply without controlling. It is to support others without needing to shape them. It is to love from fullness, not from need. When you depend on others to complete you, you become a beggar of affection. But when you are whole within, your love becomes freedom for both yourself and others. This is why awareness and discipline must precede deep connection. Because without inner balance, love easily becomes attachment and care turns into control. Real love does not bind, it liberates. It does not demand, it flows. It does not weaken, it strengthens. And it begins with the discipline of detachment. Argo in achievement as you progress in any area of life, in your work, art, skill, or discipline. Remember, success is not ownership. You do not own your achievements, you honor them. Each success is the result of countless moments, effort, failure, guidance, even luck. To believe I alone created this is blindness. To say I was blessed to be part of this process is humility. Humility does not mean you hide your strength. It means your strength serves something higher than your pride. When you achieve something, bow inwardly, not to the world, but to the process that shaped you. Bow to the discipline that carried you, to the patience that trained you, to the teachers, visible and invisible, who guided you. Because gratitude dissolves ego faster than any philosophy. Observing the self, sit quietly for a moment. Close your eyes. Watch the mind. A thought says, I am doing well. Another says, I am not enough. Another says, what will people think? These are all voices of the conditioned self. They are not you. You are the observer, the silent witness that sees these voices arise and fade. That witness has no pride, no fear, no doubt. It is vast, clear, and timeless. To live as that witness, even for a few breaths each day, is to taste freedom from ego. It is to remember who you truly are, awareness itself. This practice does not make you superior, it makes you simple again. And simplicity is the highest form of wisdom. Detachment from identity, your name, your role, your reputation. These are not who you are. They are masks you wear for the play of life. The problem begins when the mask becomes glued to the face. When you forget that behind every role, there is still the same silent awareness. Detach not only from possessions, but also from identities. Be a teacher when it is time to teach. Be a student when it is time to learn. Be neither when it is time to be silent. Do not hold too tightly to who you think you are, because every identity you hold onto limits your growth. When you release identification, you become fluid like water, adaptable, peaceful, and whole. The ego and emotional chaos, ego and emotion, are twin forces that feed each other. When the ego feels attacked, emotions rise. When emotions rise, the ego grows stronger. To master the self, you must break this cycle. When insulted, do not defend, observe. When praised, do not inflate, observe. When misunderstood, do not rush to correct, observe. Silence becomes your sword. Awareness becomes your armor. Patience becomes your strength. You are not what people say, you are what you know in silence. Let that truth protect you from emotional storms. Because emotional chaos is not caused by others. It is caused by our inability to detach from their words and actions. The moment you realize this, the power returns to you. Living without the need to prove a life ruled by ego constantly seeks validation. It must prove, impress, defend, compare. But awareness seeks none of that. The wise person walks through the world quietly, not hiding, but simply not needing to be seen. His value does not depend on applause. His peace does not depend on recognition. When you no longer need to prove yourself, you have already proven something far greater, that you are free. Freedom from opinion, from comparison, from insecurity. This is liberation of the spirit. And this freedom comes only through detachment. Humility as strength many mistake humility for weakness, but humility is the highest form of strength. It allows you to learn from anyone. It allows you to bow before truth, even when it contradicts your beliefs. It allows you to stay grounded while others are lost in pride. Humility protects wisdom. It keeps the heart open and the mind flexible. Remember, the tree that bends does not break. The mountain that stands too rigidly will crumble in time. Be like water, humble in form, yet capable of shaping stone. Humility does not reduce you, it refines you. It removes the unnecessary, the arrogance, the comparison, the noise. What remains is purity, simplicity, and peace. Closing of part 4, take a breath, slow and deep. Feel it ground you. Understand this truth. To conquer the ego is not to destroy it, but to see through it. To practice detachment is not to withdraw from life, but to participate fully without being enslaved by outcomes. Live, love, work, and train, but remain free inside. Be in the world, but not consumed by it. When praise comes, smile but stay silent within. When criticism comes, breathe but remain steady. When success comes, bow. When failure comes, bow again, because both are teachers. Both are mirrors. Both help you see yourself more clearly, see yourself more. When humility and detachment live within you, your peace cannot be taken. Your mind cannot be shaken. Your heart cannot be corrupted by praise or fear. And that is true strength, not the power to dominate, but the grace to remain centered no matter what arises. Take one last breath. Take one last breath. Inhale awareness. Exhale ego. Inhale peace. Exhale attachment. Remain still, aware, free. The more silent you become, the more powerful your presence will be.